All right, guys, so we've all seen what the convention's all about, and SuperFan ComicCon is no exception with a long, long list of celebrities. So we're going to jump in and start our interviews off with an amazing interview with Jeremy Bulloch, who plays the amazing Boba Fett in Star Wars. Let's go. I remember coming across you at FanExpo in 2012, and you were already really busy and swamped, and since Disney's acquired Star Wars and it's just sort of ramped up and picked up a bunch, how has your life changed, and so what has that done for you?
Well, my life has changed that you get invited virtually around the world to will you appear in Australia, will you come to Chicago, will you do, and that happens daily. Other than that, people are suddenly doing amateur films, and they say, would you, and there are some very skilled people out there who make their own film. Mainly your life is just much busier. I mean, I love still playing cricket. I love playing football, but I'm too old now. But I love being in the garden, just doing normal things. The grandchildren, so that's important as well.
Are you still amazed at the popularity of Star Wars?
Well, it's just incredible. I mean, every day someone might phone you or get in touch with you and say, Mr. Bulloch, we're doing our own movie, and we'd like you to play the lead. I said, well, that's interesting. What's the film? Star Wars. I said, oh, yes, of course, Star Wars, I know that. And so you go, and I said, well, that's very kind of you. He said, well, I've got a script together. Oh, that's good, because there's some talented people out there, and we're just wondering whether you'd like to play the part of Boba Fett. I said, well, yes, I mean, I've already played that, but thank you. So the eagerness is terrific, and I think it's because of the films. There's such a, people are loving meeting you because you played this, now they say, iconic character. But I just feel very lucky because in the evening, for 2 weeks of the filming, I was in the theatre as well. I just got into a play. So I was doing theatre and film at the same time. So that's lovely. You think, how lucky I am. I'm so busy doing 2 jobs at once.
Yeah, that's absolutely lucky.
Yeah.
Could you guys tell me about just sort of the experience of being able to impact so many different generations of people, like having fathers and then grandchildren, I imagine, coming to all sort of having the same interest in Star Wars and your character?
I think it's something that we probably will never see again. How the different connections that grow up, and Grandpa, my father, said, this is incredible. At last you've got, because he hated me being an actor, he said, at last you've got a proper job. And he was talking about Boba Fett. You have a proper job, that's a good part. There it is. And it's still the smallest part I've ever played in anything. Yet there you are, a few lines, a scream into the Sarlacc bit. But it was incredible wearing the costume, because when you walk onto the set, you just stand, and I then discover that the weight of the gun would be much better if I can support it here. But it looked, someone said, that looks really cool. I like the lazy way you just... I said, no, the gun is heavy. That's the reason I'm carrying it like this. But it's something that is unlikely to happen again, certainly in my time. And maybe in you might not see a character like this again either. So I'm very fortunate to be part of it. Yes. Well, I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, people, they don't stop you in the street because they might not know you, you take a mask off, but it's extraordinary when someone does know, oh, there's a guy here, the actor, Jeremy Bulloch, you're joking. The guy Boba Fett's here. And then this is from a grown man. This is from a 40-year-old in charge of a company. He said, I was wondering, my wife, it's her birthday, I was wondering whether you could surprise her by knocking on the door saying, I'm Boba Fett. I said, no, I'm not going to do that because that's silly. It's much better if you sort of just say, I'm Boba Fett. Much better to be sort of just leave it. But I just feel every day you wake up, I'm very fortunate. It's given my wife and I enough time to travel. I mean, from Japan, when I went to Japan, and there was a selection of people where we have 4 actors Who do they want out there? Now, 9 times out of 10, they want Boba Fett to go to the event, and well, even after Darth Vader. So I suppose Darth Vader and Boba Fett are the 2 most popular, mainly to chat to people and everything.
It's funny you mentioned that because when I was younger and I had Star Wars action figures, like all of us probably do, my friends and I would line them up and then we'd draw about who would pick who. And everyone would always pick Boba Fett as one of the first picks. Do you have any clue why Boba Fett just grabs people?
I just think because he's not a bad guy. He's misunderstood, I suppose. And I think there's a storyline somewhere where he probably was with Han Solo. They probably fought together, and then finally something happened, and Han Solo goes his way, Boba Fett goes his way. I mean, just looking at the Slave One, where it suddenly tilts up. I mean, there's so many gadgets on it. I mean, I used to sort of show off and put a belt on and say, and just during the day, because I said, this is Clint Eastwood, but in space.
Yeah.
The gun comes out, and you could be as cool as you like, and it was great fun. I mean, if you can't have fun, I mean, you've got to be serious about your job, about what you're doing. But if you can't have fun playing a character like Boba Fett, it's some of the very famous American actors. They sort of love the character Boba Fett, and so why they chose me, I don't know. Some well-known actors would say, I'll play the part, I'll play. So, no, good fun.
So I'm sure you expect this one surrounding all the hoopla, but can you tell us anything about the new Star Wars?
No, you keep hearing. The safest thing I can say. I mean, I'm really pleased they've actually started. There's Peter Mayhew, Kenny Baker they've mentioned, and Kenny is probably thrilled to bits because they can use a motorized R2-D2. That's easy, but to call him up and do that, and Peter, who's had difficulty with his knees, and he's strong up here, and I think it's great that especially those 2 are back. Boba Fett, I don't know, he's dead. Although people say, yes, he can come back, yeah, but in the storyline, he's in the Sarlacc pit, gone. That's it. So, I mean, it would be lovely to say, ladies and gentlemen, I have some news for you. I'm playing Boba Fett again. I mean, I'd love to be saying that, but that's not happening. So, I mean, at one stage it would be nice to visit the set if that becomes possible, because it's been shot in England. You get a chance to go and say, wow, look at it. And that will take you all the way back, those wonderful days when you arrive at 4:30 in the morning and go, right, another day, and put the helmet on, that's all I have to do. Whereas Mike Carter, Bib Fortuna, terrific character. I said, Mike, would you like a cup of tea? His 3.5 hours to 4 hours, his makeup. And all I had to do was just give him a cup of tea. So I was very lucky, I didn't have much to do, just that. And I'm doing sort of a voice thing for an owl that's called Max's Adventures, which is, wow, strange voices. And a television project that is in the very early stages called Cold Embrace. And if you get the Cold Embrace on here, you're gone. That's the end of you. Interesting script. It's a little bit up and down. I get asked to do lots of different bits. What did you... It's a series here, an American series. I forget it now. But it's been done in England as well. A detective series. Come on, guys, you know what it is. It's here. What's it called? It's an American series, but is now being done in England. And I just played a barrister. No, it's just gone out of my head. Yeah. But it's a detective series. And I played a barrister who's not a very nice person. That was fun, but they do the same music to it as the American series. and I'll probably, as I'm leaving here, I'll say, I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's most fun. I see that you and your wife are always sort of together. You seem like a really, really strong team, and it's something I don't really see often. Can you tell us a little bit more
I
about
think,
that?
well, Maureen comes with me because she's absolutely knows exactly where to. If I started putting up a photo here or doing something, the whole lot would collapse on the floor. So Maureen will just go, and she said, go away. Oh, is it? So everything will be neat, tidy, and done. Plus, when we travel, when we went to Australia, you don't go without her. I mean, it would just be a pointless exercise. And, I mean, there's a few that I've gone on with the boys. It was like us all having a few beers and things. But you know, it's good. You know, having her there. We go out. We actually visit instead of coming to an event and flying straight home. We will actually stay on for a couple of days and go and visit. Go to the CN Tower. So there's a lot to see. Once you've done that, and off you go.
Great. Thank you very much.
A pleasure. Thank you, guys. You're next. It's funny, hearing that applause is rather like a Monday night in Halifax, which is northern England. When you go and do a play, you have to accept the full houses in the theatre or 2 people sitting and going. That's embarrassing. Thanks, guys.